first job I was paid an annual salary was an exploration geologist for CRA, which was the precursor for Rio Tinto. Geologist by training, Bachelor of Science, got a passion for rocks, got a passion for chasing down gold and minerals, and very seductive.
I served my apprenticeship as a fitter and turner in the Royal Ordnance Factory in Chorley. It's a Ministry of Defence munitions factory. They made bombs basically. Okay. Anything from a 30mm aircraft round up to 155mm howitzer. And yeah, I served my apprenticeship there for 4 years, and then I continued on there as a tradesman sometime after that.
First real job was a product design engineer for an automotive braking company. Engineer by trade, so love all things mechanical.
My first real job was as a graduate accountant for BHP at head office as part of my university role, and from that I went through a variety of roles with BHP in a number of their industries, with BHP Transport, their minerals division and their steelmaking division.
Yeah, look, again, first job, because we were producing brakes, so there's one there actually. You know, it was a very safety critical part that goes into an automobile. I mean, if it fails, it's going to have some pretty significant consequences to the driver and the passengers within that car and whoever else is around them. So certainly you could see that safety was paramount in the product itself, but back in the early days, not so much in the people that were designing it and producing it.
I didn't realise it at the time, but in a number of instances, we put getting the job done over our individual safety. And when I reflect back, did that job matter that much? The answer was no.
You would think from a Ministry of Defence establishment, a munitions factory, safety would be red hot, yeah? And you'd think it would be all over, but this is the 70s, yeah? This was 74 when I started my apprenticeship, and occupational health and safety was really much in its infancy. And there's a couple of really strong examples that stand out to me. During my apprenticeship and time as a tradesman, I was working in a line that made hand grenades on one occasion. And part of the conveyor that transferred these hand grenades from one station to the next, let's kill that, had to be taken out and repaired. And the hand grenades were transported in these little trays, wooden trays, and there was 6 hand grenades, and they were anti-personnel hand grenades. They had like a saw blade. They were quite blasé about the whole thing, and so they would quite simply get this tray of 6 hand grenades and they just kind of toss it to the ladies on the next station while this conveyor was out of order. I'm sure it was reasonably safe. I don't think there was much danger of it blowing up. They were incomplete. But as a young apprentice seeing this was alarming, yeah, really alarming. We're all a function of our environment. Yeah. That's largely my background. So I've really got to try and overcome a lot of that background to change my thinking.
And I guess the major person that made an impact on me was one of the senior managers at BHP Steel, which became One Steel, and he was the general manager of One Steel at the time. And a number of things that he said in terms of, and it was centered around leadership, but also focused around safety leadership. And a couple of things he said is, as a leader, don't think you have to have all the answers, because you don't. You have to be able to get the best outcome from the business by using all the resources you have, including your people. So don't be so obnoxious to think that you have all the answers. And the second one he said is around, and it still resonates with me today, and this was probably 20 years ago he said this, and is that as a leader, the lowest level that you display is generally the highest level that others or your direct reports will aim for. Yeah. So if you don't set the standard high, people won't go to achieve that. They'll just go to achieve, generally default, to the standard that you display. Yeah. So that still resonates with me today, and I guess that's still probably the motto that I sort of use as well.
I think we often overcomplicate things. Safety to me is very simple. It's basically going home in the same condition as you arrived in the morning. It may be even better condition than you arrived in the morning. So nobody wants to come to work and lose a finger, lose an eye, cut themselves, hurt themselves in any way. So I think safety in its basic sense is going home in the same or better condition that you arrived first thing in the morning.
Success is really a cultural change, and I've lucky enough to been exposed in a number of roles with the safety and obviously with BHP Steel, and One Steel was really focused around safety, and that to make a real change is really in mindset. Not about physical barriers, etc. and procedures, it's a mindset. So it's a mindset around, when you come to work each day, you should be expecting to leave work and going home to your families and friends, because that's what they expect in the same condition as what you left to go to work in the day. So that's my vision. So you come to work and you go home every day in the same condition as what you came to work as, and that would be physical and also mental. Yep. You're here to sort of paid employment, but mental health and physical health are basically in tune. They're not one in isolation.
To me, it looks like a very healthy workplace in all dimensions. Mental health, in physical health. It is an environment where there are no injuries, there are no losses of containment, we don't interfere with our stakeholders, but we get the job done. That for me, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, look, I see there's three key elements of safety. There's the product, as we just spoke about. There is the people that we just spoke about, and then the environment that those two are in. So, whether it be the office that we're in right now, or the workshop downstairs, the warehouse, what have you. So the vision is that we are, we're effectively driving safety in, and it's clear to everyone across those three facets. And we're all communicating and ensuring that we're constantly improving our safety awareness within those three areas as well. So that's kind of the vision for me. I think we're doing a fantastic job within Sullair, but like everything, there's always room for improvement, and it's communicating with each other about the environment, about the product, and about ourselves to ensure that we're all safe and that we are selling a safe product. Yeah. And that's another thing too. Safety is a key selling feature of the products that we're giving to our customers. We've got to ensure that the product that we're providing is safe, and that where we're installing it within their facilities is also safe as well.
It means today you do the right things. It means on this job I do the right things now. Yeah. In anything you're doing then and there, do the right thing, because you can't go back and change what you did on the previous job that you got hurt on. Yeah. You can't go back and change that. So it's about what I'm going to do to now, every day, every job, every bit of work you're doing, you make the right choices. You do it today. Tomorrow may never come. Yep. So it's really important that we do it today.
Zero today is an outcome. So to me, it means everyone doing the things required to get that outcome. So that means having a lot of conversations about safety. Everyone, before they do a task, thinking about the hazards of that task, thinking about what controls are in place to manage those hazards, talking to other people if it's a multi-person job. So it's a lot about communication, and it's all about proactive work. It's about people informing themselves. It's about doing your training so you become more capable and competent and prepared to manage the challenges we have. It's a culture. Yep. We've heard a lot about culture with the Banking Royal Commission, with the Special Forces investigation just passed. Yep. It's about a culture, and we need to improve and continue to work on that culture, because it won't get there without everybody's effort.
It means personally to me that we're seeing zero accidents. There's 0 days off. All our employees feel safe. Our customers feel safe coming here, and that we're driving that that zero today across every element of the business.
I think you have to take into account the workforce and how we're organised. You know, we are very distributed. Yeah, we have guys that work on their own for the majority of time. We've got remote locations from head office in 6 locations, and so you have to rely a lot on personal responsibility. Yeah, because you can't be looking over their shoulder all the time. You don't want to be looking over the shoulder the whole time. That's not effective. So you have to. It has to be something about the way people think, the culture, so that they take personal responsibility for their own safety and potentially for people around them. Yeah, I think it basically boils down to that.
I will be working to provide the resources to make our business safe. It means arguing for CapEx approvals like the tow tug for Mackay, like the test cell upgrade. So it's making sure the resources are there so we can deal with the hazards and risks we know about in the business. I'll do the things I ask my staff to do. So I'll always do my training within 48 hours of being released. I'll do the hazard and near miss stuff. So if I ask other people to do things, I will do it myself. Okay. Personal accountability, lots of our people are working by themselves. They're only accountable to themselves. They're the ones who can keep themselves safe, and they're the ones that they look in the mirror in the morning. They are responsible for their own safety. Yeah. Now, managers have a particular additional responsibility for their teams, both morally and under the EH&S Act, various legislation around Australia. So they've got to understand what are they asking their people to do, how are they controlling the risks. So accountability falls on every person in this organisation and even more heavily on managers. Okay.
Well, I think it's all about promoting that self-reliance, that self-aware, being responsible for yourself, you know, not being cavalier, you know, not throwing the hand grenades to the next stage, and not being a Fred Dibnah ladder climber, you know, taking responsibility for yourselves. And I think if you can make it personal, relate it back to what would happen if you were injured or worse, how would your family react to that? How would your children, if your parents, if they're still alive, how would that impact people that love you? You know, and I think if you can make it relative to that family group, yeah, it means a lot more to people.
I guess I reflect back to the comment I made about that manager and sort of mantra about you actually have to display, as a leader, display the behaviours that the organisation requires. Yeah. So you set the expectation and you demonstrate your adherence to that expectation and behaviours. And that's as a leader, that's what you expect. You have to demonstrate the behaviours that are important to you and demonstrate that on a consistent and a daily basis with no fear or favour and no variation from that, because that's that's at the heart of everything.
Again, head of sales and marketing, I'm certainly going to ensure that we are driving safety as a key selling feature within our products, but also that, that my team and the team that I'm working with feel that they're coming into a safe environment and that we're all communicating with one another and ensuring that safety is paramount and is first within our business, whether we're in the office upstairs or whether we're down in the workshop.
Well, it's certainly been an interesting year. Service in particular has been shown to be quite resilient during this year. Certainly the service side has struggled in some locations, but this has actually been our best spare parts year ever. So, it swings and roundabouts. And that doesn't come about without a lot of people, working their arse off and really trying hard to make it all happen. So while it's been a tough year and there's been sort of downs, it's not because people have been trying their hardest. Everybody's been trying their absolute best. And that's shown in the results. It's a really resilient result, and it's really down to the team that we have around the country, driven by the CSMs and the technicians and on all the office staff, just making that happen. So good job, guys.
It's been a very challenging year from a number of fronts, but always reflect back on it and think, Jesus, as humans, we're pretty resilient. We get frustrated with a lot, but generally we get on with the hand that's been dealt to us, and we do the best that we can in the situation. And I guess it's been demonstrated this year that, hey, we can get through this stuff. And it's hard at the time when you get through it, but when you think back and always think of those things, that next year there'll be other challenges from other point of view in terms of coming back to work now, and also we have system changes coming up, so it'll be challenging times, but we'll get through it. We'll be fine. We'll just do it in a methodical way, do it safely, and we'll be back here again next year.
It has been an interesting year. I think everyone is well deserved of a nice long holiday, so I do wish everyone a nice, long, relaxing Christmas, and I hope we do get some good weather over the Christmas period too. It's
been a peculiar year. I think we can look forward to having Christmas with our loved ones this year, which we haven't been always assured of having. So please take the time to recharge, to be kind to each other, and come back prepared for an exciting 2021. It's got to be better than 20.